Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Be Better Everyday Podcast. Two middle-aged, out-of-shape, hot messes on a mission to improve and help you be better every day. Real talk, real struggles, real people, real progress. I'm your host, Mac, here with my best friend, Josh.
Hey everyone, let's grow together and be a little bit better every day.
Be better every day. Uh, let's talk about that intro for a second. The first part of the intro is just middle age. Middle age is such a crazy concept because I just turned 40. You're 41,
Yep.
41 now. Um, and to think this is the midpoint of our life. Everything that we've done up to this point, we only have hopefully this much time left to complete everything we want to accomplish while we're here.
Yeah, and that's a good scenario probably.
Yeah, to have another 40 or 41 years, I think is the best. Um, you know,
Shoot, the average American male life is 74, so technically we're over.
yeah, we passed middle age a little. We are over the hill. Everybody says 50's over the hill, but it sounds like 37's the new over the hill.
Yeah.
Um,
Somehow you can be 50, look 37, but when you're 37, you're really 50.
hey, and speaking of being out of shape, my Garmin watch told me today that my fitness age is now down to 49. So we are on the right track. Hopefully, shortly, my fitness age will hopefully match my actual age.
That's the goal.
That is the
Be
goal.
under.
Yeah. Um, both of us, I was listening to this song by Crowder off of his new Exile album, and the song's called Dash. And the premise of the song is there's a preacher, and he is recently buried his father, and he's talking in his sermon about uh, his father's life. And on one side of the headstone it says 1910, the year he was born. The other side says 1998, the year that he passed away. And everything in his life is defined by that little dash in between.
That's pretty heavy. That's a lot to put on a little dash.
That is a lot to put on a little dash.
That little guy's got to carry a lot.
Hopefully that while we have that dash, we're able to make that impact we want to make on the world.
Well, that and if you really look at it, that how short is it? That's really how long we're here for.
Exactly. Some
Just a
people are here
little
for a little
blink.
bit. Some people are here for a little bit longer than others.
Yeah, like your granddad.
Yeah, we both lost our granddads this year. And talking about Be Better Every Day, I think both of our grandfathers had a huge impact on who we are today and the person that we are. I think we're both better for it.
Oh, 100%. My granddad being such a hard worker. I mean, you were at the funeral. You saw how many people talked about his work ethic passed down to them from him. That's crazy.
Yeah, my grandfather too. We buried we had services for both of our grandfathers uh, in the same week. Your grandfather passed away in June, and mine passed away in November of 2024. And we had their services a couple days apart. But I think, you know, I know for my grandfather, he wasn't a physical laborer. My grandfather did the majority of his stuff in real estate. Um, my grandfather had almost 103 years on this earth. Way more than he could have ever asked for, way more than I could have asked for. And, I just thank God every day that that I had him for as long as I did. Most people don't get to keep their grandparents into their 40s. Um, but my grandfather was in such good physical shape. He played tennis up until he was 90 and played golf into his 90s and was really active. When you're young, you don't realize how old your grandparents are. My grandfather was the kind of guy that would never tell me no. Not about anything monetarily, but if I wanted to do something, my grandfather was along for the ride. He'd take me uh, to his river house on the weekends, and I'd be down there checking crab pots, fishing before breakfast. And I'd come up, we'd have breakfast together, and as soon as breakfast was over, he wasn't even done with his second cup of coffee before I was begging him to take the boat out.
I mean, that must have, I mean, just think about that memory right now. How's that make you feel?
Man, if I could go back to that dock with that old man. And it's just, like I said, he never told me no. We go fishing in the morning, we come back and have lunch, and I'd want to get back on the boat, or I'd want to go do something if we were in town. We'd go play 5 or 6 holes of golf in the morning. We'd go have Arby's for lunch, and then, in the afternoon, I'd want to go hit a bucket of balls at the driving range. He never said no to an experience with me. And I look at it now, and if I take my kids to the park and watch them play for an hour, I'm ready to go home and take a nap. And when you're young, you don't realize how old your grandfather was. I mean, my grandfather was well into his 70s and was still running me around everywhere. And I'm just so thankful for that time we spent together. The last 5 years, he stopped driving. We get to spend a lot more time together. He asked me if I take the store, take him to the pharmacy, the hardware store, stuff like that. I started taking care of his dog for him. And the last 8 months, 8 months ago, he had a fall, and when he got home, he was in the nursing home for a couple of weeks after he got out of the hospital. And even being 102 years old, that was the only person, and 18 broken ribs and a punctured lung, that was the only person up there at that nursing home without a wheelchair.
That's incredible. But when you think about it, how short is that dash from you right now to that memory that you were talking about?
Oh, man. A blink of an eye. I mean, I've been...
To us, it feels like, oh, that was so long ago. But
yeah.
That so long ago was a blip.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, I think back to, me and him fishing up there in the Rappahannock River, or even when I was when I was in elementary school, when he was picking me up from school, and they had a beach house down at the beach. And we would go down there. He would pick me up after lunch on Fridays. I'd get out of school early, ride down there, listen to Rush Limbaugh on the radio. Had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Every time we stopped by Pierce's barbecue and French fries.
It's a must on the way to the beach.
On the way, you have to stop at Pierce. It's the halfway point.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, get out, stretch the leg, have a little barbecue, and
chicken tenders and fries.
Oh,
it's the way to go. It's the only thing I get there.
But yeah, I would anything to have 5 more minutes with that. He was a couple years ago. He told me he wanted to go to Vegas. I'm like, Pop, you just tell me, and I'll book the trip. And then as we got closer to the end of his life, he couldn't do it much. Couldn't leave the house really. Mobility wasn't the same. Couldn't really get to the grocery store. But he's like, yeah, I just want to go do stuff. I said, Pop, you have lived an amazing life. You've traveled the world. You loved an amazing woman. You were in the military. You had a great real estate career. But, now we're at a point in our life where it's time to sit back and watch baseball games, and that's okay too. My grandfather loved college football, loved the NFL, loved baseball. I weren't good enough to follow hockey, but
it was hard.
Yeah, puck moves a little fast. When the NHL back in the late '90s put that little tracker on him, it made things a lot easier for everybody. But yeah, he loved sports, and that's how he went out. He was sitting in his couch, watching college football, sitting in his chair, watching college football, and he kind of dozed off, didn't wake up. He couldn't ask for a better way to go.
Literally the dream.
He literally lived in his dream. And I'm sure whatever game it was, he could have put $1,000 on it if he could, but he bet a standard $2 to $3 bet, and that's what it was. And it's just enough to keep it interesting for him.
That's so cool, dude. Being able to live that long. I think that's one of our favorite things to talk about your granddad about. It's like, what did he see? He saw so much at 103 years.
Oh, he saw everything. A lot of his viewpoints on things have changed every year. Being born in 1922, he lived through the Great Depression. He lived through World War II. He lived segregation, Vietnam, through Woodstock, into the 80s.
What year? So, I mean, we're talking like right after World War I?
Yeah, like literally 10 years after World War.
Okay.
Yeah. And he grew up in a very divided Richmond. He grew up in that West Hampton area. It was, the western side of Richmond hadn't been developed yet. Henrico hadn't been developed yet. So, I mean, Willow Lawn was pretty much the outskirts of town. I think in 1950s, his sister built a house over off of River Road, and they were like, "What are you doing, moving so far out of town?"
Now, good luck moving over that way.
Yeah, you couldn't get in over there if you tried. But just live a blessed life like both our grandfathers. Talk about your grandpa a little bit. Let me hear about that.
My granddad, he needs like multiple podcasts just for himself, probably. He's been so many different things. Worked in a coal mine, was a milkman, was a police officer, was a welder, a metal worker, should I say. Did doors, roofing, I mean, you name it. If it was physical and hands-on, it's my granddad was doing it.
And
He was the best jerry rigger of all time.
And tagging everybody along with him.
Yeah, making everybody work. That was probably the funniest thing at the funeral was all the child labor.
All the child labor laws that were broken.
But not even, that's just the way he grew up.
Exactly.
You just grew up working. That's kind of how I grew up. Like, I think my tax returns go back to when I was 13 years old.
Yeah. I like what your dad said, though. Like, your dad decided that school wasn't the path for him. And your grandpa said, look, if you're going to date my daughter, you're going to work.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to have somebody that's not going to be able to provide for my daughter. And, I look up to your father like he's my own father. I think your dad's such a great man, and I wasn't blessed to have the best father figure in my life. I think one thing definitely taught me the kind of father I don't want to be.
And, and sometimes that's the lessons I think they're there for, too, though.
Yeah, when we were in high school, I did the ROTC program for my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and we had this guy that's really pivotal man in my life. His name was Sergeant Major Clayton Hartsville. He was the instructor for the Marine Corps ROTC program, and he told me, there's something to learn from everybody. As far as a leadership class we're talking about, basically, you find someone and, they do things that you want to mimic or you want to incorporate into your life and their positive leadership styles and stuff like that. And then you also find the people that have a leadership style or something, a style that you want to stay away from. And that can be more important than the good traits.
100%. But the problem is when the bad traits take you down a little bit with them.
Exactly.
And you got to overcome.
Yeah.
But let's talk, switch it. I know we want to talk more about our granddad's but
hour. We're not going to turn this into a 2-hour podcast, the first episode.
Yeah. But I want to talk more about what my ideas and what your ideas about this and where we're going to go or what we're going to try to do.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Be Better Everyday podcast?
I think Be Better Every Day, let's talk about the phrase Be Better Every Day. What does that mean? What does Be Better Every Day mean?
To me, it's just something, it kind of started off as I used to tell myself all the time, no bad days. And then that kind of phrase, I still tell myself that every day, all the time. But I started saying the phrase Be Better Every Day too. It was just two things that I would just always repeat to myself. And to be better every day would remind me that, hey, you didn't do shit today, so you need to get out there and go on a walk. You need to listen to something educational. To me, Be Better Every Day is just trying to do one thing, if it's only one thing, to be a little bit better each day. Physically, emotionally, it's something I didn't even know that we were supposed to work on.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence, spiritually, academically, just something to be a little bit better. And I start thinking, like, if I do one thing to be a little bit better every day, a whole year from now, 365 things.
Yeah. I'm
365. I don't know. I wouldn't say percent better.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but
it's hard
because it's a kind of like my own little battle cry to remember to do something positive because my negative habits can take over
quickly. I was
just a negative habit that took over is in May I got a little pinched nerve and then my granddad died in June and I gained let's see, doing to the heaviest, like 25, 30 pounds in just since May.
I'm pretty sure I've been out of work since August of this year, and went through a depressive period, and I know I put on a lot of weight. I did not have healthy habits at all. Um, 1 month, that was back to my grandfather. 1 month before he passed away, he sat down with me and he said, "Look, we got to do something about your weight." And I was like, "Come on, Pop, this is like, I know we don't have a lot of time left because it's not a conversation that I want to have right now." And he's like, "Well, it's a conversation we're gonna have because you know I need you to be here and be healthy for your family. What I'm leaving you with, I need you to be a good steward of." And that's what he meant. He wasn't trying to get on me. He wasn't trying to be harsh on me. But I was like, "All right, Pop. Uh, I'll make the phone call tomorrow with people about having weight loss surgery." And uh, he was like, "No, why don't you make the phone call today?" And I was like, "Come on, man." All right. So I stepped outside. I made the phone call. They sent me the information. The next day, I had an appointment scheduled to go in there and talk to them. And I'll be honest, I went in there with 417 pounds. Did not think I was that heavy.
Yeah.
Didn't feel that heavy. Uh,
And you're as big as we are naturally, it's like 30 pounds. It like my clothes like fit the same.
exactly.
So I don't even notice. I can like oh crap, my pants are starting to get a little tight, and then I go weigh myself like I'm up 25, 30 pounds.
Exactly. So I was, and that's my Be Better. And, you know, a month after we had that conversation, my grandfather passed away. In 16 hours before he was buried, I went from in a leave with pay status to a terminated status. That termination meant I lost my health insurance, and I lost access to the programs that I had. But what I learned in that period from that first check-in with the doctor until the day that I was terminated, I dropped 25 pounds so fast. I made a couple changes, and once I saw those changes, it just lit a fire inside of me. And it was like, maybe I don't need the surgery. Maybe there's a reason I lost my insurance. Maybe something bad was going to happen on the surgery table. I don't know. I think the doctor that I had was fantastic, but things happen.
Yeah.
And I proved to myself that with a little bit of exercise and changing my relationship with food to having a healthy relationship with food, I'm eating more than I've ever eaten before because I'm making better choices. I'm losing weight. I cut out the sugary sodas. I cut out the sweets. I can still have pudding. I just have sugar-free pudding now.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. I have sugar-free Jello. It's delicious. When I have that hankering for something, and I'm not going to tell myself, if I want something unhealthy, I'm going to have it. I just know I have to work that much harder. But also, I know when I make that unhealthy decision, what it's going to take to get it off and what it's going to cost. So it's, the, cost-benefit analysis you have to do inside your head. I went to the grocery store with my sister, and we're walking around the grocery store shopping for my mother's birthday party that we threw for her. And I'm walking around the store picking up things and looking at nutritionally. My sister, doing it. And I was like, look, I have to, this is the lifestyle that I have to live now because I never thought I would see my brother, pick up something and look at the nutritional facts and let that be the basis of his decision.
Have you noticed that when you do that in a store, when you're big like we are, do you notice that other people look at you like, what the hell is Daddy doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, I noticed it a couple times, I felt uncomfortable, because I noticed people looking at me while I was looking at the nutrition label. And I was like, why does that make me feel uncomfortable? Why do they feel like they should look at me?
Exactly.
Just because, they don't know, my whole story. I don't, I don't know, maybe it's encouraging to them to see somebody fat.
Exactly. Trying to make a change.
Trying to make a change.
And that's what it's all about. And so for me, here recently, it's be better physically. That's what's meant for me. But it's also meant be better spiritually. I'll be honest, before I started, this new fitness journey, I would struggle to wake up and get my kids to school on time. I would come home from taking them to school, and I would literally watch YouTube all day, smoke cigarettes, and get nothing accomplished. I'd be at the school at 2:30 to pick her up, and then as soon as we got home, I'm ready to turn down. I did nothing all day to justify taking a nap in the afternoon. and I would wake up just in time to make dinner. Then we'd go to bed and start that process all over that depressive cycle that I was in, just repeated day after day. But as soon as I started making a little bit of a change, I turned off the YouTube videos. I listened to praise music. I'm surrounding myself with positive people, positive thoughts. I'm getting so much more accomplished and no need for a nap.
It kind of sounds like a switch from surviving to trying to thrive.
Yeah, surviving to thriving. I like to call it fat to fit.
That's a long journey.
It is a long journey, but it's literally baby steps. I
2020, after my second lower lumbar fusion, I was really depressed. And 2020, January 1st of 2020, I started doing 2 1-mile walks every day. And that turned into a great thing for me. Like, I got down to the lowest weight I did since born, my son. And next thing I know, 3 years later, I was up 64 pounds.
So easy to do.
So easy.
Well,
I started focusing on other things that I thought were more important, and I kind of put that on the back burner because I felt like I was doing good there. And so then I started focusing more on emotional health, emotional intelligence, and then started, doing meditations and other things that I felt more important to me at the time. And it hasn't been so recently, especially since you started your journey. Like, it's kind of been like another kick in the butt for me to refocus on that, which is good. And I think that's hopefully something good that's going to come out of this. So both of us want to keep pushing the other one.
Exactly. When we were sitting down talking this morning, and you were telling me how much weight you had lost here recently, and I had put on weight. I let the Thanksgiving holiday be an excuse, sugary sweet, to not go to the gym as often, to not get out and do my walk. I let it be an excuse. I stopped drinking as much water as I was drinking. I was trying to get a gallon a day in me. And then I started drinking tea sweetened with Splenda, which, the caffeine and stuff in the tea is still going to dehydrate you, and I just made excuses. And when you told me how much weight you had lost recently, I'm like, oh, all right, we're about to see what second and third gear feel like, because we were on cruise control there for a second, and we just got to drop it a gear, get back, got the new shoes, on fit, on cloud, no free ads, but we got the new shoes. We need to get out there and we need to put up the work. I know exactly if I want to do a 2-mile walk in my neighborhood, exactly what route to take for a 2-mile walk. If I want to push it to 3, which I don't recommend for somebody my size. Your body's not ready for that. But you get out there and you put on that praise music, you get right with Jesus. There's crazy things that can happen out there. It moves you physically. It moves you emotionally. I've been out there. Me and God have had choice words for each other at times. And I think, I think that's what it's had to come to get me to this point. But I'm at a point now where, God's speaking to me through music. I'm growing spiritually. I'm healing broken things in my own home. Not physically broken things, those are getting fixed too, but emotionally broken things are getting, relationships are being mended.
Well, I think sometimes things emotionally being broken are about the same thing as physically broken too. I think it definitely interferes.
Yeah, but sometimes
your emotion kind of can overtake you and take you away from your other goals.
Sometimes when you're getting better, seeing the physically broken things in the house, like a broken door or something like that hasn't been repaired yet, when you're trying to work on things emotionally and heal relationships, sometimes having those physical reminders there can be detrimental as well.
The broken window theory. I think that's I forget who came up with it, but the broken window theory is, if there's one broken window in a neighborhood, then people think it's okay to start breaking more windows.
Yeah.
And then that leads to more stuff. And, graffiti and then this. But if you have a clean neighborhood, it helps everyone grow.
Yeah, exactly.
I butchered that real bad.
What is that? A rising tide raises all ships?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the tide comes in, all the boats come up together. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main reasons I sit down my daily quotes, because they don't keep me motivated on something.
Yeah.
They keep pushing me to do something.
And like I said, when you told me how much weight you lost, I'm like, okay, I know we have potatoes for breakfast, and we had the carbs with the bagel, but I guarantee you it's going to be a healthy dinner tonight, and if there's going to be a gallon of water input today, and we got Zumba class, of course.
I know I'm trying to ramp my protein back up because that's the thing that holds me over the most.
Yeah.
Is that now? It's over 200 grams of protein a day. So you're talking like over 2 pounds of ground beef just in beef alone.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. Like my body thrives to eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
Like my wife, not so much. She doesn't like as much meat as I do.
My wife, same way.
Which is great for me because
Exactly.
I'll eat your protein too.
Exactly. One thing I found out my wife does not like the meat either, but she still needs to get that protein in. We switched over to, when I was on the program for the weight loss surgery, the nutritionist recommended that I try different protein shakes. Because if you have the surgery like I was going to have, your body physically can't eat the amount of protein you need to get. So she recommended trying some different protein shakes. And I found this one. It's by Fairlife. It's got 30 grams of protein, like 1 gram of sugar, like 100 calories, and they taste just like chocolate milk. I mean, it has none of that protein shake aftertaste. It literally tastes like melted milkshake.
Oh, dude, when you can find a good protein, so instead of having chalk in your mouth.
Exactly. And this one I bought literally because it was the cheapest one at BJ's. It was like a 12-pack for right at $20 versus, getting 3 more for an extra $7 with the Premier. These Fairlife ones, the only ones I can get at BJ's are the chocolate, but I know if they have strawberry out there, it's delicious too.
I like to cheat sometimes and make protein coffee so that we get both one time. Instead of making one protein shake and then one coffee, I just take a scoop of chocolate protein and then I got 25 grams of protein in my coffee.
Exactly. No, it's finding those little shortcuts to get those extras. If I just need a little pick me up in between meals, and I just feel like I'm starting to get tired or starting to feel down, grab a protein shake, shake it up, like a little over. It might be right at 12 ounces. I can drink it quick, and it instantly makes me feel better. It doesn't make me want to grab for those salty snacks, crunchy snacks, those little Debbie cakes, so delicious, and Christmas tree cake season. Oh,
it's the best time of the year.
It is. But to me, that's what Be Better Every Day is. It's doing something to grow, whether you're growing educationally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. I mean, there's so many aspects of your life we can have the opportunity to be better every day.
I probably need to add financials into my list too now.
Well, hey,
that's good.
Well, both of us, if we don't have any money, I don't have money. We're about lose,
Yeah.
But I think we're onto something here. I think we have something that, even if it doesn't go anywhere, even if it doesn't reach anyone, which I'm sure that it will, but even if it's just us having an opportunity to sit down, let's hopefully say weekly, get something recorded, put it out into the metaverse, universe, or podcast verse, whatever we want to call it. Put it out into the ether, and just have the opportunity to touch someone else. It has the opportunity to be way bigger than the two of us.
Yeah, and this is something I was really missing since I stepped back from doing my presentations and doing my internship for a peer recovery specialist. I feel like I've been missing a chance to connect and maybe help us.
Yeah.
And so, hoping maybe this might be a different way to touch more.
A different outlet, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, being that it is posted on the internet, it has the opportunity to reach the other end of the earth,
Yeah.
But whatever it turns into, I'm thankful for what it is, or what the potential of it is. Even if it's just me getting a chance to sit down with my best friend and, literally just keep each other accountable. And if you think that your number is going to be lower than mine, we get to our weight loss goals, you have another thing coming.
Well, I only want to get so small.
Yeah, our body shape will only let us get so small. Our frames will only let us get so small. But we definitely have the opportunity to be much healthier than the position we're in right now.
I'm definitely never going to be less than a 2-earned man.
No. I don't think our body frame, we would look 60 under 200 pounds.
And for people who don't know, a 2-earned man is somebody over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Because evidently there's a weight limit per earn. Which I found out. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah.
And so now you can refer to people as 1-earned, 2-earned, 3-earned. You were a 3-earned man.
I probably was a 3-earned man. Yeah. I'm down to 2, but those 2 are full.
Yeah. They're overflowing me. Nah, you're under the cut.
I'm under the cut for 2 earned, but
3 is definitely too many earned.
Yeah. I'd like to be in 1 earned, and then let's just take the rest and put it somewhere.
Yes. So in the end, I'm a 1-earned man. I'm a normal person.
Exactly.
Yeah, spread me at the homestead in West Virginia.
Yeah. Take me to the motherland.
Take me home, country road.
Absolutely.
Just like my granddad.
Absolutely. You know, let's double back to that. They could not have picked a better song.
Oh, that's
when I heard the opening chord to Vince Gill, Go Rest on the Mountain, you want to talk about somebody sobbing in the back row?
You want to talk about instant chill.
Yeah. And the other one, Daddy's Hand. Such a good song.
I mean, my granddad had the biggest hand.
Exactly.
Out of anybody I've ever met. Like, I could barely get my hand around his hand.
Yeah.
Like, he has a ring he made from, like, a giant nut off a job site. Because for a normal ring, you couldn't get something that big back then.
Yeah.
Unless you were, like, a full champ.
Exactly. Perfect. To make a special ring.
We always say bear paws.
Yeah.
You come up and hit you with that Ric Flair right in the back. But he's just trying to pat you on the back like you did a good job, but you feel like you got the WWE slap.
Yeah, I said it at your grandpa's funeral. I got up because we didn't meet until we were in high school, and then I quickly went into the military there after high school. I didn't have the opportunity to work for your grandfather. I don't think I'm probably my back's probably better for it. But when I shook your grandpa's hand, it was literally, I'm like, I don't know if he was trying to impress me, but I quickly learned that it was a handshake.
Yeah.
He had bone fracture.
And, like, the craziest part is, like, he never put any force into his part of a handshake.
Exactly.
And I remember for so many years, like, always growing up, trying to squeeze his hand as hard as possible.
Yeah.
And even when he, like, I have hand strengtheners right there, right over there. I got a 350-pound one that I'm working on now. And I could still never even get him to, like, winch a little bit. His hand was still so thick and easy. And a bear paw, even all the way to the end.
Well, let's talk. Let's bring it full circle. What's one thing you want to work on this week to be better?
For me this week, it's gonna be probably getting back on a schedule, like morning routine that I used to have. I read this book. It's called The Miracle Morning, The Morning Miracle, one way or the other. But it kind of lays out like an affirmation. It has one you can print out, beautiful affirmations, and then I would meditate. I would do the affirmation. I would journal. That's something I want to get back in. I feel like starting to write is very important. The more I've studied like different stoics, stuff like that, like meditation, Marcus Aurelius. That was never meant to be published for people to read.
Yeah.
It was just some guy's journal that he wrote in the morning and at night. And that sounds like a better routine than watching TV all night.
Yeah.
And I kind of like need to get these things back in order that I've let slip, and I just let them fall to the wayside.
Yep.
And I know at different times, like when I would do my presentations, I would say these things to encourage other people, and then I would leave and be thinking like, I let that thing fall off for myself.
Exactly.
So like, I'm sitting here talking about it, how great it was for me, and then I'm not doing it anymore.
Exactly. I think for me, it's going to be getting back out there and just getting moving. And the movement is hard because it was easier when it was 60 degrees in the morning.
Yeah.
It's much easier to go to work and walk at 60 degrees in the morning. It was 19 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
And, you know, but like I said, I just have to stop making excuses and let, you know, I know what I have to do. Let's get out there. Let's put the mileage in. Let's get out there. Let's make healthier decisions when we eat. You know, and those are my goals for this week. And I'm working on this program through the VA called Move. The program is great. Like, they give you a workbook. You have the workbook. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
the problem.
Yeah, it's like
all these hard things, you have to do the work.
Exactly.
And it's like, how many things did I do the hard work on at one time?
Exactly.
Especially like somebody like me, like, because I kind of refer to myself as ably disabled, disably abled. I don't know, because I definitely, been through the disability ringer, but didn't get approved. But I still definitely feel like disabled. Because no matter what I try to do, there's only so much of it I can do.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons I took off the day this week was I tried to work 3 days in a row last week, and by Saturday I couldn't even walk around the house.
Exactly.
I couldn't move. I had stuff I needed to do, but I couldn't move. And that's one of the things. Get some of this weight back off will help, I know.
Yep.
But trying to remember to do my floor. Once you start missing out on foam rolling for like a week or two, and then turns to a month, it's so hard to get back down on that floor and put a foam roller on your IT band. Oh goodness, dude! You talk about some different level. Instant sweat starts beating down. Start feeling yourself turn red. It can be tough, but I remember that on the other side of how tough it is
feels good.
It feels good, and it helps you feel better.
There's days when I try to go for a walk, and like my wife, super supportive, amazing woman, and if she went decided to go for a walk with me one evening, I'm like, hey, we need to stretch before we walk, and she thought I was joking, and like I kind of ran into like the 5-minute stretch that I do, stretch out over my head, I kind of bent over, attempt to reach down as far as I can. We are not touching toes yet. But, then I try to stretch out my calves, my hamstrings, and stuff like that. And then there's other days I get there and just take off and go for a walk. First of all, my mile time is a minute slower, and then when I get done, it's like I get in the truck and drive home, and I get home, and I'm like, oh, it hurts to walk inside. That extra 5 minutes stretching makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And she thought I was joking. So like you look ridiculous in the driveway, like.
You did it in the driveway?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
of course,
yeah.
Of course.
No, I literally put my toes up on on the rim of my truck and stretch my calves out that way.
Hey, I feel you. I do this thing in the morning when I get to work. It's like if I fill up in the morning because we have gas tanks at work. There's like a concrete barrier. I put my boots up and I stretch my calves out. I have a problem with my muscles getting really tight. Like my body likes to lock all my muscles down so it can't move that much. So it can't hurt itself. But then being so tight freaking hurts. And but yeah, that stretch in the morning, a good calf stretch.
My getting back to grandpa, one thing my grandpa did was, even at 102 years old, after he fell and broke 18 ribs, punctured a lung. To tell you how tough as nails this guy was, did not want to. He fell, broke 18 ribs, punctured a lung, stayed home for a week before he went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this man would every day do, when he was younger, he would do, push-ups and sit-ups every day. As he got older and couldn't get on the floor as much by choice, he got on the floor sometimes not by choice. And but he would do push-ups on the wall and just try to do 25 push-ups on the wall at 102 years old.
That's
He's
smart.
Holding on to the back of his wicker couch in the Florida room and try to do 25 squats. And then he's just resisting his body weight or whatever. And, that has kept him mobile like I said, he played tennis. And I read an article somewhere where people that play these ball sports like tennis or pickleball or table tennis or ping pong, where it requires that hand-eye coordination to follow that ball, it keeps you mentally sharp for longer. also keeps your muscles or keeps your joints flexible because in order for you to be able to react on a tennis court, you have to be able to kind of turn and move your body and stuff like that. And that's what kept him as fit as it did for as long as it did. That's why he's 102 years old, the only person in the nursing home not using a wheelchair. The guy across the hall was 65 years old. And, I don't know what his issues were or whatever, but, he would take himself around everywhere in a wheelchair. Here's my grandpa, has just getting released from the hospital, 18 broken ribs. First of all, prior to this, I didn't know there were 18 ribs. No, you can break 18. I'm like, is that all of them? And the doc's like, no, you have 24, 6 in the front on each side, in the back, front back. But, that's what kept him getting out there, walking the golf course, choosing not to ride the golf cart. Getting out there, walking the golf course, playing tennis, being active around the house is what kept him here for as long as it did and kept him as sharp as it did. So, hopefully by this spring, we've got a couple lbs off the body. I think my long-term goal is I've set for myself is to be able to do the Monument Avenue 10K this year. If I have to walk it, I'll walk it. I don't plan on running it. I know my doctor would recommend running it my size. But if I get out there and I can just do the 6.2 miles or whatever it is.
When is?
I think it's in April.
Ooh.
The YMCA is having a training. They do a training session every year. I think it's like $75 to do the Monument Avenue 10K. But if you sign up for the YMCA training group, no free ads. I am a paid member of the YMCA. You pay $45, and they will, even if you do the virtual coaching, it tells you walk 1 mile this day, do 2 miles this day, take a rest day, do 1.5 miles this day. It helps you work up to that distance.
And that's the U-Cross 10K?
Yeah, the U-Cross Monument Avenue 10K.
So that's your goal for next year.
That's what I would consider my long-term goal for now.
I'm trying to figure. You said it was
6.2 miles.
Ugh.
At a 20-minute mile pace, it's gonna take 2 hours.
I haven't been able to.
Don't set it for your goal yet.
Yeah. I know. I was just thinking, like, what's the most I've walked since my second backflip in one go?
Yeah, I did 3 miles the other day, like 3.5 miles. That was
It was April 12th.
April 12th.
So you're gonna have to register and get that motivation.
Yeah, I think
the miles in on the sneaks.
Paying the $45. Actually, you sign up for the $45 training sessions or whatever, and they have group walks you can do and group runs you can do. They have a time set up to fit literally every schedule, and if you can't meet the schedule, they'll send you the virtual coaching tips to do however many miles a day to work yourself up to that distance. If groups aren't your thing, they'll work with you, and you pay that $45 fee. And I believe what I've read in the past is signing up for that training program also covers the registration for the 10K. You're getting the training session and like a $30 discount.
Boom!
Yeah, double dipping. So that's my goal, is to be able to complete this 10K.
That's a good goal.
Get my, I think I've proven to myself I don't need the surgery. The surgery is just a tool. It's a great tool for people who need it and people who do it right. But if you use that tool, you can get out there. Your stomach is just a muscle, and it will stretch back out as much as you let it stretch back out.
I know my goal is getting back lifting. I'm supposed to be a gym pro. I love lifting in the gym, and I could, like, for a couple months, it feels like my body's like calling me back to the gym. But this pinched nerve that I got today, it's still bothering. Yeah. That's the sucky part. Like, these random times I start going on a walk, it's nice one time, and then the next time, halfway through, is the pinch starts acting up, and I'm like, oh, am I gonna make it home?
Do I have to make a phone call?
And the sucky part is I haven't felt like that since I started walking, like right before 2020. That's what really got me into walking. But Matt Milwaukee app had a goal for 2020. You versus 2020, and you had to walk like 1,020 kilometers. And I realized that if I did 2 1-mile walks, that I could complete that goal. And so, turns out when I first started, that 1 mile was a good good little tick for me to do because once I started getting over a mile, things started getting wonky. I've almost been stuck in the neighborhood multiple times, having to call for help.
The I'll be honest. When I did my first walk, I did it with my daughter. She was on her scooter, and literally just walking around the block was a problem. Like I don't. Well, first of all, I wasn't wearing the right footwear. I had uh, I wasn't wearing the right footwear. My lower back started hurting. I wasn't listening to music, and my body was telling me every excuse to stop. And
Well, it's hard to find even the right footwear when you're our size. Like,
well, I went, again, no free ads. Went to this place called Fleet Feet here in Richmond, um, and they are a retailer. They're a running store, and they literally had you step on this thing and it measures your feet, the size of your feet. I learned that one of my foot is a half size different than the other foot.
I think that's normal.
It is normal. It is normal. So that means that when you go buy a shoe, there's no shoes designed to fit your foot. And then they do the thing where they map out your arches and your heels and stuff, and then they have you walk on this pad. I probably walked across it 8 or 9 times. In this pad, it puts up to their tablet, and it measures your heel strike and how much weight you're putting on one versus the other, where your arches are. Are you overcompensating on the outside of your foot? And then they take all that information, they put it into a little fancy computer system, and it spits out. Because I need a wide shoe, I was restricted on how many options I had in the store. So it wasn't why I've had to have more options. But they brought out a pair of shoes. The shoes were $150, and then it was additional $45 for the insoles that they recommended. And I don't feel like she was trying to upsell me anything. She was like, "Look, you can get the insoles. This company lets us brand them with our name on them. Doesn't matter these or these. Like I tell you, the reason that you're having that pulling on the outside from your calf to your ankle is because you have extremely high arches, so you're overcompensating there for it. And so, by having the right footwear, it definitely made all the difference. My feet feel better, my legs feel better. I'm able out there to put in the miles without the pain. And that's made a big difference. So, Fleet Feet in Richmond, no free ads. If you want to reach out, your boy's interested. I like those socks you gave me, or the socks that I bought. But yeah,
I'll come in anytime too.
Yeah,
feel free. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, the lady that helped me, I wish I had her name. I have a card in my wallet. She was amazing. All their staff were amazing. They don't work on commissions. They're not going to push you just to get a more expensive product. They take care of her, but they would not take a tip from me. And I felt like they did right to give me. And they were having a clearance sale at the time. After I picked a pair of shoes, I told her I love the shoes. The only thing I didn't like is I felt like I was walking out of them. She taught me how to tie my shoes different so that my heel stays inside the shoe when I walk, which is, And
You're still learning things.
Yeah, they had clearance things there, and she was like, "Well, before we pay for these shoes, let me look and see if we have anything in our clearance section that would also work for you." And so I don't feel like she's trying to push me on their most expensive product.
Yeah,
that's where I feel comfortable.
Yeah, because that'll run me out of your store real quick.
Exactly. And trust me, for someone in my tax bracket with no income anymore, spending $150 on a pair of shoes was a big leap of faith. But it wound up being it's a good investment. Investing in my health, investment in my body. It's an investment in my time.
Yeah, I'm back to a point where, like, I've had to talk about it with Jackie, my wife, before, like where I was in the airplane mode where you got to put your mask on first, so you got to take care of yourself first. And I kind of feel like physically I'm back to like one of those where I need to start taking that care of myself again that I was doing before.
But it's funny how, I started taking care of my health. And I know it's not having the stressful position that I had before. The job that I had was extremely stressful. But the job I had was extremely stressful. It was stressful on my body. It was stressful on my family. It didn't seem like I was working that often because I constantly had days off. I would do 2 days, then I was off for 3 days, then I would have 2 days and off for 2 days, then I would work for 3 days. And so it always seems like your day off wasn't that far apart. So exhausted from the 12 to 16, 17, 18 hour days. Um, you come home, you're sleeping for 3, 4 hours at a time, you get up and do it again. It's hard on your body, put your days off. The first day you're sleeping, and then you try to do something with the family, and it's like, boom, it's time to go back to work. So have some time off, putting my health first has helped our family get back into a normal church routine. It's helped us get into a normal routine with the kids. Eventually, I am going to have to go back to work somewhere, but I want to make sure it's a job that not only provides for us financially, but fits our family's lifestyle where I'm not away from the home as much.
Yeah.
I'm the father in the home. I need to be there to lead the family.
Work-life balance.
Exactly, work-life balance. So, yeah, I think we have good goals for next week. I do want to, I say next week before we meet, we put a mile in.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think we should do something physical before or after.
Yeah.
Like that.
Absolutely.
That way, even if we haven't done anything in a week, at least that day was.
Exactly. What you're saying is now when we.
I'm going to get you lifted, bro.
I have one bad shoulder.
I'm going to get swole.
Lightweight, high rep.
Like Rue told me. She told me She goes, Uncle John, you're buff.
Are buff.
We're going to get you buffed. Too.
Yeah. Well, I guess what that means is when we stop recording, we're going to put a mile in.
Yeah. We'll walk the dog too.
Let's do it.
You done now?
Yeah, man. First episode in the book.
We're right at 52 minutes. So almost right at an hour. So
perfect.
I don't know how we're going to sign up.
Hey, for those of you guys that have stuck with us till the end, thank you. It's a learning process for us as well, so it will get better.
How about I'll leave with my daily quote. We'll just do my daily quote each time.
Let's do it.
So my quote today was from Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. And that's a big leap of faith there.
That is. All right, everybody. Be better every day.
Yeah. Be better every day.
Every day.
Every day.